Hello and welcome to the channel. And today's video is going to be my list of favorite action figures from 2022. It's not a top 10 because there's going to be more than 10 figures. It's just an overall look at some of my favorite from different lines. So they're not in any real particular order. It's just, I'm just picking out a handful of figures from different stuff that I picked up throughout the year. We're gonna start off with these two figures here, since I don't really collect a lot of Marvel Legends, but I am a Spider-Man fan. So these were probably the only. Well, actually, there is another Marvel Legends that I picked up, but it's just for fodder. I'll explain much later, um, at a different time. But yeah. So these two, the retro black suit, um, um, symbiote suit, Spider-Man, and animated series, Spider-Man. Um, I was able to get these figures. One I found myself, and the other one from a friend. Um, but yeah, these two figures are pretty cool. The um, the um, the blue and red version is the only Marvel Legends Spider-Man in this color scheme that I have. I've been trying to find the the uh, the Renew Your Vows 2-pack, but everyone is selling it. I can't find it in stores, and everyone else is selling it at a pretty high premium price. So I'm not going to pay premium just to get one figure. I mean, I do like the Spinneret, but obviously I'm picking it up for the Spider-Man. Also, I haven't been able to find the Amazing Fantasy and all of that. So, but yeah, these two figures are I believe are on modern bodies. I mean the Spider-Man is pinless, right? So he is on a modern body. The the black suit, I'm not sure which body they were using on him. It's also really highly posable. This has already been modified, as I gave him the head from a previous black suit Spider-Man that came out. I just repainted the eyes. You can see still some of the molding there. I just repainted the eyes to look a little more like a McFarlane style Batman. A McFarlane style Spider-Man. But yeah, as far as Marvel Legends, these are my favorites of this year so far. Um, Let me pause and bring in another set of figures. And up next, we've got McFarlane. McFarlane Toys. We got different representations on here for 2022 of my favorites. So in the back is the Mortal Kombat um, Shadow of Spawn, uh, which probably is the most comic book accurate release of a Spawn figure. Um, at least of the current Spawn, the one with the big boot and all of that. I wish McFarlane would release a retail version of the classic first version of Spawn, like the one he released at the Kickstarter. But but with more articulation and all of that that he's using. Also from the Spawn line, we've got the She Spawn here on the right. I just think it's a cool looking action figure. Just before the well, actually, as Spawn, the comic hit 300, issue 300, I was um, going to start collecting the series again, but then the pandemic hit, and I just I couldn't keep up. So I'll probably pick up some paperbacks, but I was really gonna get back into Spawn. Um, but anyway, the She Spawn figure, Jessica Priest, I believe, um, it's pretty cool looking, you know. And then we have, as far as the multiverse line, we've got the Hush Batman that came with the 2 pack, along with Hush. This is probably the most, I want to say, the most, some of the better Batman figures that McFarlane has released on the Multiverse line. Um, of course, the figure had its own, it had its issues, with the painted elbows and all of that. Again, if you saw a previous video where I showed what I did, how I fixed those issues. But yeah, that's probably the Hush Batman is probably the best Batman they've released so far. Then in the middle, we've got the Speeding Bullets Batman. Another great action figure, highly posable. It actually has a working crunch, no mods. Um, but the paint, the design, everything about this, that the that's a figure that I never thought would get a release because it's like an Elseworld story from back in the early 90s. And I always liked that story, but I never thought I'd see a figure made out of this version of a mashup of Superman and Batman. So I'm glad McFarlane released it. Then we have on the back right, we have the Endless Winter Wonder Woman. That's the gold label version, the one with the different style headgear. I grew to like this figure. I mean, the original release, I didn't like it. But then looking over the potential for the figure, as far as like customizing and swappability and all of that, she could work to make a good, decent, um, basic Wonder Woman. If you get the right parts. But the figure by itself is pretty customizable for retouching and repainting and all of that. Plus the head sculpt, I really like it. It's very indicative of the Jim Lee style face Wonder Woman. So I really like this figure a lot. Is it hindered by the pose of because of the cape that she's got, the fur cape and all of that, the plastic fur cape, sure, but again, that all of that can be fixed. But on all, it's a cool figure. And then up front we have, I have the Superpowers Batman, which is pretty much a representation of the entire Superpowers line. I really like all of the figures so far that I've picked up. I don't have the Dark Side or the Madman Who Laughs. I'm just not interested in those figures. Uh, I would like a classic style Dark Side, so hopefully McFarlane will release that soon. Or if the current one that is on the shelves goes on special, on discount, I'll probably pick it up. But yeah, I just brought out the two Batmans because these are two, um, just to show you one that I customized in the black, kind of to represent the larger version of the Hush Batman. And then we have the blue and gray version, right? But yeah, even though the figures don't have the action features and all of that, the molds are great. Obviously, as with everything that McFarlane does, the first few figures may not be perfect, uh, but as the line goes on, he'll probably, fix some issues like, some proportions type issues. Maybe the heads are a little too wide. Um, and also, hopefully, he'll release like a classic Batman suit soon. But yeah, so these are some of my favorite. Well, these are my favorite of the McFarlane toys releases for 2022. And now, moving on to the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified series. And I don't know how many of these will surprise many of you, but I think for many, these might be some of the best figures that were released in the line. First, let's start off with on the right the Alley Viper. Now, at first, I wasn't 100% all in on the idea of getting the figure, but I actually, just because of the color scheme, the bright orange and blue. At first, I wasn't sure if I wanted to pick it up, but the more I thought about it, is well, I can always repaint it. But the figure itself is pretty cool. All of the gear that he comes with, the suit itself, the the sliding face mask on the helmet and all of that, everything about the figure, I really like. I actually really like. Um, all of the cool features that he's got, the riot shield and all of that. So it's again, it's just the I wasn't too keen on on the um the bright orange, but again, I can always just repaint the figure when I'm tired of seeing him in this color scheme. I actually thought about buying several and maybe try different color schemes, but I've yet to find more in stores. So maybe down the line, if I can see more in the future, or just pick some up online when they're on when they're on discount. Then up front, of course, Storm Shadow in his classic, as close to his classic gear or look. Um, it took a while for Hasbro to give us this classic looking Storm Shadow. Um, we're going to get an even more classic looking Storm Shadow in the retro line. That will be coming up this next year, which is in a couple of days as of this recording. And then, so yeah, Storm Shadow. It's just, you gotta have them. You gotta have them on your Cobra lineup. If you're not a fan of Storm Shadow, then I don't know if you're really a fan of G.I. Joe. No, I'm kidding. No, but yeah, of course, Storm Shadow is an awesome figure. Great. I mean, there's not too much to his costume, his suit, and all of that, but really posable. And yeah, I'm glad I found him when I could. And then next to him, we have the Bat. Again, that this is a must-have if you're a fan of the GI Joe, one of the more iconic-looking Cobra troopers. Foot soldiers or whatever you want to call them. Highly detailed, lots of accessories, and I just picked up the what do they call it? Let me see. A couple of days ago, the Python Patrol. I picked up the Python Patrol bat, as well as the Viper, the regular Viper. Um, but I'm just using the standard release bad representation. I think I actually like this color scheme more. Again, kind of like the same with the Alley Viper. I wasn't sure if I wanted the Python Patrol bat or the Python Patrol, but now that I looked at them again, I can always just repaint them if I'm not too fond of the color schemes. And then behind the bat, we've got, of course, Sergeant Slaughter. Um, Again, a must-have figure if you're a fan of G.I. Joe, right? Um, it's it's a great figure. Uh, the upper body is a reuse of one of the roadblocks, heavy artillery, I believe, roadblock, and the lower body is all new, or at least the legs and the boots are all new. Um, but yeah, again, cool figure, excellent likeness to the Sarge, and and again, it's a must-have if you're a fan of the Joes. Uh, and and finally, at the center, we have Serpentor. Serpentor. Um, what can I say? He from other top 10, 20 of 2022 lists that I've seen so far, he's made pretty much every list. As far he's either one or two as far as the best figures released in the classified line this year, and I couldn't agree more. The figure is awesome, um, very imposing. Of course, he comes with a chariot and all of that. Um, One thing to note on mine, I don't know if you can tell, but I've already customized him and gave him. Whoop, I gave him. I threaded a wire through his cape, so the cape is posable. I'll go in detail in that in another video if you're interested, to show how I did. It's it's pretty easy. You just gotta thread a wire. But again, I'll probably make a video about it some other time. But yeah, of course, the figure was only available through PulseCon, and then a second re-release a couple of weeks after that, or about a month after that, I forget. So hopefully, for those who missed out, hopefully Hasbro puts out a retail version, maybe just without the chariot, and not so many of his um, extra goodies that came in the figure. But yeah, it would be a shame if not everyone that's a fan of G.I. Joe that couldn't get their hands on the Serpentor. Same with the Sarge. The Sarge was an online exclusive. So hopefully we'll get retail versions of these figures in the next year. So yeah, these are my favorite classified figures for 2022. And now moving on to the Masterverse line. Where to start? Let's start at the middle. This is the 40th anniversary. The 40th anniversary He-Man. This is the retail version. Of course, if you saw my video from a few months back, I do have the exclusive Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con 2-pack. So this pretty much represents the He-Man from the 2-pack as well as the Skeletor from the 2-pack. But I just wanted to show off just the retail version here because it's the one that I have on display. But yeah, the 40th anniversary He-Man with the new upper body. the more classic look, the classic style, chest harness, everything about this figure is the He-Man that most of us wanted when the line was like first announced, right? Um, the big, huge upper body, the classic style head sculpt, um, the color scheme and everything. Everything about this figure is just about perfect. Um, I do plan on doing some mods. I do have another one in box. I just wanted to show them off. There we go. I do have another one that I plan on modifying. I plan to pick up another one because I just thought, just yesterday, I was thinking of something else that I could do with the figure. Because I was doing some other swapping of parts and all of that. So I'll probably pick up another one. But yeah, the 40th anniversary He-Man, the 40th anniversary Skeletor especially was also awesome. And speaking of Skeletor, we have here the new Eternia Skeletor. This is the Barbarian Skeletor, but I guess they just known as New Eternia Skeletor. Uh, Pretty close to a classic style, as close as we are getting right now to a classic style Skeletor. The one that came in the 2-pack with the 40th anniversary He-Man is just about perfect as well. But as far as a retail version, if you could find the new Eternia Skeletor, he's a great um, alternative to a classic style Skeletor. If you weren't a fan of the original Revelation release, um, but yeah, so far I haven't done anything to this figure as far as mods. Because I just like this version a lot. Uh, Probably do some shading on the body and all of that down the line. Behind Skeletor, we have Hordak. Um, Again, an awesome figure, awesome features, great playability. You can swap one his arms with an arm cannon. Um, the face sculpt is great. It's not an exact replica of like the a representation of the classic Filmation or the classic Mattel vintage figure. It's a nice updated version of Hordak, a figure that I never had um, um, growing up as a kid. Um, but I've always wanted a Hordak, and thank you to the Masterverse line, I finally have one. And then let's see, to our right, I'm sorry, to the left, to He-Man's right, we have the women of my favorite female figures of this line so far. Um, so up front we have the quote unquote classic style Tila. Uh, I've already featured this figure in a different video a couple months back. She's been already been modified, or I repainted her costume. Um, did some stuff with the different head sculpts that were available to her. The one with the loose hair, different expressions and all of that. Check out that video to see everything that I did to her. Um, so yeah, great, great female body buck, which was reused again for Shira, which is at the back. Currently, I have her with her face, the version of with the face with the mask down. I'm currently in the process of repainting the other version, the one with the face and the tiara and all of that. Um, so this is how I currently have her displayed. But other than that, nothing. I haven't done anything to the figure yet. But again, great sculpt, um, nice representation of a modernized Shira as well. And I think the Masterverse line has probably been, you know, up there this year, along with Classified Series, as one of the more consistent lines at delivering quality figures. So yeah, these are my favorite Masterverse figures for 2022. And to close out my list of favorite action figures for 2022, we've got Transformers. This year for Transformers, as far as for me personally, I mean, there were a lot of figures that came out that I did pick up. You know, but at the same time, it was kind of a slow year because the Legacy line featured a lot of Beast Wars characters that I'm not a fan of the Beast Wars. Um, and also Studio Series was a little late in as far as as being in stores, and being in stock. A lot of figures just weren't available. But I did pick up quite a few figures this year, but these are the ones that were my favorite. um, so let's start off to here on the left. We've got the Legacy, I guess, leader class. Yeah, Blitzwing. Finally, we get like a. I don't want to say definitive because the other than the robot mode, the tank mode. Well, I guess the tank mode is pretty cool. The jet mode could have used some more, engineering, a little more budget. But as far as the robot mode goes, this is the closest we've gotten so far to a classic looking Blitzwing, classic from the cartoon. Right? Um, Great, nice, bulky figure, and I just think he's great. And then behind him, we have the Studio Series 86 Sludge. Uh, Again, awesome. We're past halfway there of getting all of the Dinobots. We're only missing two, so hopefully we get those in 2023. But again, not perfect. He does have a big gap when we transform him in his Dino mode. Under his belly, we've got a big gap on him, but there is a third-party kits available to cover that up. I think I'll probably get one of those. But yeah, great figure overall. The only thing probably missing from the Dinobot releases is that they don't come with swords. But okay. And then in the middle, we've got the Legacy Voyager Jyaxis. If he looks different than what you're accustomed to looking at him, that's because the figure is in the middle of being customized. He is getting repainted, currently being repainted. So I'll talk about that in a future video, but the figure itself in robot mode is awesome. A lot of great detail to him. I wasn't a fan of the character first, but the figure kind of grew on me. as I saw more reviews of him, and I was able to find them in stores. But yeah, watch out, look out for a future video of me explaining the repaint. Then behind him, we've got the Legacy Voyager Blaster. Again, a classic character. I never had the classic blaster as a kid. I always wanted one. Great update to the figure. And then finally, we have the Studio Series from the Bumblebee movie, Soundwave. Again, an awesome figure, tons of detail, great for customizing. It's in the plans. Um, I've got a lot of Transformers that I'm looking at that need repainting. So there's plenty of more projects to come as far as Transformers go for repaints. But I just had once I got the J-Axis, I knew what I wanted to do with him, so I couldn't wait. But anyway, the Soundwave is awesome. I don't think he has it. No, he doesn't have the Ravage currently inside him. But anyway, the alt mode sucks, but I don't display him in the alt mode. He almost kind of looks his ship mode, quote unquote, kind of looks like a Cylon Raider. But anyway, the robot mode just kicks ass. Tons of detail and all of that. So yeah, these are my favorite figures from the Transformer releases, and this wraps up my list. Well, not my list, but yeah, a look at my favorite action figures from 2022. Comment down below which of these figures are on your list of top favorites for this year, and comment what other figures were some of your favorites for 2022. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys in 2023.